on your
Okay.
thing.
Okay, so we're live. So
I'm
if as soon as it shows up on my face, there's a delay, you can share it.
There it
Okay, so
is.
we're
Oh
live.
wait.
So
Okay, give me a second to
no
share.
worries. If you are on, go ahead and let us know in the chat box that you are with us. We'd love to know who's here for our, this is not a test run. This is now the real deal. Yay, Katie's on. Hey, Katie.
What? Katie's our first one.
Okay. I feel like I could take a breath, like somebody that knows us is here. Like, we're nervous. Oh, hey, Steph. Yes, you are always on time. I didn't know if
Okay.
you were going to be able to make it. Hi, Laura. Oh, you guys, this is exciting. Actually, it's what I said earlier yesterday. We're kind of scared sighted. Like, we don't know if we were like want to throw up because we're scared or we want to throw up because we're so darn excited. Oh. So
Okay, I
Crystal's
believe.
getting this shared to her Facebook page. So we're going to have it there so people that follow on Crystal's page are able to connect as well to the work that we are intending to bring to everybody, which we're super excited about, for real. I think it's more of that.
Okay. So somebody else might know what I need to do here.
Are you
Because
not able to share it?
no, what it's telling me to do is to share it to a private page. So thank you for everybody that has grace for me right now, but I am not able to
Oh,
do it.
so that might be something we'll have to figure out.
Yeah,
Crystal, the only thing you could do is if you go to the Sherra Grasser Youth Empowerment page where it
I have it
says,
up.
so this the post below that, that was the scheduled post. It says we're starting at 6. You could share
Mhm.
that and say, follow us here.
Okay.
Because I don't have to approve anybody watching. They don't even have to, I don't think, like the page.
Okay.
So that might be great. Thanks, you guys, for hanging in there with us. These were the glitches and the things we couldn't really figure out, but we tried to brainstorm after our test run yesterday. Um, things like that in the platform we're using, I'm still learning, and there's some things that it won't do, like it will not mirror. So everything is backwards to us. Like my elephant picture should really be on another side. And so Crystal and I have been having a hard time with those little funny glitches too. So did
Yeah,
you get it?
I think I did. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna hold it. I'm just gonna let it
Okay.
be for a minute
Okay.
and see what's happening. So yay! All right, I'm
Okay.
here.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. I want to introduce myself first, and then I'm going to hand the baton over so that Crystal can take this. And so my name is Sherra Grasser, and I'm a youth empowerment coach. I'm the founder and director of Me Powerment programs. Me Powerment is all about it's about empowering youth from the inside out. So really supporting and nurturing and guiding our youth through the social pressures of today. And as we all know, that I mean, having kids doesn't matter what age, or not having kids even. This platform that we're doing that's called Beyond the Classroom is for you. It's about looking at our kids today and how we as humans, we as a community can support them in the work that I do with Me Powerment. I really start to have them look at their inherent gifts. For some, it's rediscovering what those are. For some of us, for some of them, it's really discovering what they were and lighting them up so that they can feel empowered to go out confidently into the world. So that's a little bit about me, the work that I do. I am a mom of 2 adult children. My son is 25 and my daughter is 21. So, all right, Crystal. You're up. Who are you, woman?
Oh my gosh. I am sitting in awe to be next to you, my friend. I'm in a square. Stop it. I'm in a square next to my friend that I have. How old did you say Emmy is?
Emmy is 21. She'll be 22 in March.
Okay, so I would say I've been working on this day for about 20 years. We started in Pampered Chef. I started in Pampered Chef, and that's how I met you, right?
Right.
So, no, anyways, moving on. I'm so distracted by this all. I am a mom of two. I work at an elementary school. My passion truly is, at the core of my passion is the happiness of our children and just their comfort and their awareness of how their light can shine and just how amazing they could be. Like I it's just so deep within me to just love on these kids. I'm missing them very bad, by the way. And that could be a very hard conversation that we could talk about, that, us not being in school right now, it's hard. It's hard not being in school with these guys. I think that's really it. Like my goal with this is so that if there is something hard that somebody wants to hear about and talk about,
Mm-hmm.
we just need to put it out there. Too many really tough things are happening and people are holding it in because we're taking care of ourselves and we don't share that because we don't want anyone else to hurt or we don't want anyone else to know because we think we're alone. And my hope is that we realize as moms and dads and grandparents that we're not alone. And yeah, I just can't imagine doing it next to anybody else but you, my friend.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, to build a little bit on what Crystal has shared, our intention when well, like she said, we've kind of been talking about this for a while, and I kind of just let it be. We have Santa in the house, Crystal. Just saying, Santa's with us.
Santa's
Um,
here.
so we've always talked about it, and then it was a matter of really just sitting down at the table and like, okay, what's our intention? What's the mission behind what we want to bring? And the mission has stayed true, but the lens from which we saw this shift from the day we started calling it Beyond the Classroom
Mm.
completely shifted. So our mission is to give youth a platform to use their voice and for us adults to be able to hear, feel, and process the world as the youth are seeing and feeling it.
Perfect.
So we set my intentions beyond using beyond the classroom was because Crystal and I do a lot of our work within the classroom structure with the kids. And this was to take those conversations, things that are happening in the world outside, what's happening outside the classroom. Right now, a lot of what I'm hearing students reflect back to me is they have lost every social component in their world with this pandemic. They don't have lunch. They don't have recess. They don't have hall pass. They're, between classes, going class to giggle, poke, fun, laugh, all of that. They're in a structured Zoom class with their class and their instructors. Majority are black boxes, and it's about work in that classroom time. And I know the teachers are doing their best in structuring, so this is not about that, but this is about that free space to be, to share. I had one individual share, I don't even get to share what I'm reading right now, like what my favorite book is that I'm into. And so we started with really the focus was to give our youth a platform to start using their voice and letting the world know. And then it's evolved within hours to, oh my God, our caregivers, parents, grandparents, adults in the youth world, which is almost all of us, we need a little support too. We need a little love too. we need a little more knowing of what our youth are experiencing. And we need to know it's okay to stay in our own lane as mom, as teacher, as caregiver, as grandma. Crystal, you want to add? Sorry, I
Yeah,
was like,
well,
now I'm
no,
rambling.
you just really pointed something out to me that I wanted to say. This is what's going to happen, friends. Sherra and I, when we get together, like there's just this that we just fuel each other. So I wanted to jump in to
I feel you,
um,
friend.
I want to acknowledge, by the way, that Stephanie said her little one doesn't know how to verbalize it. First and foremost,
Mm,
that's how this started. Our kids do not know how to tell us. And if I'm going to be really raw and honest, as a mom, if I was my kids were going to school right now, I wouldn't know how to hear it. So I want to say that, like, I would be frustrated, and with that frustration, I wouldn't be able to hear what my kid really needs. So if anybody else is feeling that, do know that you're normal. I mean, because I think that that's kind of for a lot of us. But what I wanted to really say was that if you're watching this right now, whether you are live with us or you watch it later, it's not by accident. I know
mm,
several of you are coming today because you love us, and whether it be Sherra, myself, or both of us, because we share a lot of you as friends. But you're not here by accident, and um, our real hope is that you take something away that is really valuable and important to you. And if it not be today, it's okay. Sit on it, because it
mm.
will come up later. Something will come up, and I believe in it, right? I believe in that, or I wouldn't be so willing to put myself out there like this. So just know that you're not here by accident. And Laura, we see you, honestly.
Same
And
with
Tara,
Tara.
yeah.
Tara, like you've already sparked a conversation in me that I'm
Ooh,
hoping to bring tomorrow. Crystal and I have talked about it when
yeah.
we meet with the Martha Lake families. But do know that it's also a conversation like, what lane am I in? Like, holy hell, like I'm driving on a 4-lane highway and sometimes I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. You got a lot of people riding that same lane with you. So I think that's a really, really great conversation to be in, um, and support you all so greatly in. And the other thing, Crystal and I were talking about this too, is we're not we're not experts.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
we're not perfect. We are actually living through these experiences with you. And we are human beings living a human experience. I want you to hear that. We are human beings living a human experience. And humans were never meant to experience alone. I mean, if you want to go way back in history, there's so much about this. We are not meant to do life alone, but so many of us are so alone. Rachel, exactly. What you shared, I thought I was alone in my feelings, is one of the biggest reasons. And thank you for confirming and affirming why Crystal and I are choosing to put ourselves out there. And we are open to being wrong. We are willing to be wrong, to start the conversation and learn. So I want you to know that as we start digging into some really big conversations and invite some guests that have some really great stories, of heartache, of pain, of of joy. I mean, all of it, that we're learning along with you. We are definitely going to be learning along with you, and that we need to be doing this together. We are better together. I don't want you to not believe that. We are better together.
So true.
Batons to you, Crystal.
So true. The talking stick over to me.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah. I just don't even, I kind of just was sitting in what you were saying as opposed to jumping in for the fact how alone we do feel. And I think Tara was in my head To just be able to say, and now Monica, like, it's just so weird. And let's just say it like it is. It is so honestly weird to feel alone when we have supportive family around us, people we love, our children we love, staff we love. You know, I am so thankful every day I have a job. I have a job. I still get to connect with my kids. They're mine, by the way. If you are parents on here, they're mine. When I'm at school, I and and I know all that. So really, what is the root to the alone feeling and all of that? And what I'm choosing to believe, and I am no professional in this, I have no degree in this, um, but I truly believe it's because we live in a society. Somebody shared this yesterday at my meeting that is says that we have to be strong, that says that we should be happy all the time, and um, and we need to learn how to be able to feel and say it and
Yeah.
and own it. And I love going to work, by the way. But yeah, and how do we break that stigma for us that it's it's okay to feel like this? How do you heal it? Well, how you heal it is to acknowledge it,
Yep.
and acknowledging it is halfway to solving it. And let me tell you what just popped in my head. I didn't plan this at all. None of this is scripted. Is, by the way, friends, if we learn how to do that for ourselves, the gift we're giving to ourselves, we're also giving to our children. Because our children are growing up in this world that we're teaching them to hold it in and be strong.
Oh, so much. Okay. Okay. So I'm reading the comments and
Yeah.
yes, Crystal. So I have this little, well, there's a couple of them, but we have to feel it to heal it or name it to tame it. And this loneliness that we're feeling, I mean, most of us have had some sort of a loneliness feeling, but it's what Tara is saying, and a lot of you are agreeing with that we're feeling lonely when we're not alone.
Ah,
And that is so hard for us to comprehend up here. If I can teach you anything to walk away with tonight, I want you to stop trying to feel from here and I want you to start feeling from here. Divorce your head because this is where it's like a hamster wheel, and when you're only circling these things alone, you start making up this really big story and then you start believing the story and oh my god, it's so convoluted. But if you could just take a breath and really feel and name what that loneliness is, that's exactly what Crystal's saying. You're exposing it, you're shining a big freaking bright light on this feeling. And now you have something to do with it. You feel it, and it's not even actually something to do, it's just being with it. Why have we been all raised in a society that labels emotions? Good emotions and bad emotions. No, emotions are all things, they're not good or bad. Emotions show up to teach us something. Some of us are a little slow, late to the game in learning, and have to feel more than once around the same thing. Human. But emotions aren't good or bad. Being angry is not a bad feeling. Being sad is not a bad feeling. Being happy is not just a good feeling. They're showing up because we need to embrace them. And when we do that, and then we start taming it by having a conversation about it, Crystal nailed it. Your kids are going to learn from this. You are setting the best example because when things start, this is this is going to put me on out there, but just hang with me. When things start falling apart for our kids, a lot of times we as parents, caregivers, friends, family, we're falling apart too. Kids are very intuitive beings. They feel energetically at such a young age. And somewhere in their world is when that disconnection of that feeling, that energetic, sometimes for some will all of a sudden disconnect. But if we're feeling and showing up with these energies and these feelings, our kids are picking that energy up without you saying boo.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to swallow sometimes, right? Like
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
Yeah. And I think, if our next conversation that we have is, moves us into the whole conversation around when I said staying in our lane, because I know that can take a big weight off of many of us when we recognize that we don't have to be playing in all the lanes, that we can really stay in mom, caregiver, teacher, grandma, grandpa, whatever. We can stay in our lane. That can take a huge weight off of us. But I think that is part of the process. That's part of the learning and all of this. And none of us, I'm guessing, have ever lived through a pandemic. Ever. Hello. We are all walking this, I was going to say bullshit. Yeah. But
You just said it.
I just said it. But like way of living right now. Like this is hard. We are doing hard things right now. We are feeling hard things. We have been in this. We're February 1st. We've been in this a year.
Yeah.
Like you know what? If I could high five all of you, I'd be high fiving you. I'd be hugging you. I'd be loving on you because we've survived.
Can I just hug somebody? Wait a minute. Pause. I just want to think about that for a minute. Like, I really would like a hug.
I know. I got a hug the other day, and I'll tell you what, I didn't want to let go. And either did my friend. He didn't want to let go. Oh, yeah.
Look at Tara's like, no germs.
No
Tara,
germs.
I'll try really hard. I'll try really, really hard not to hug you. That's a whole nother conversation. So here's what's happening in my head right now. I'm veering away onto something like about around this hug, right? What's going to happen when we go back to school? Like, who's talking to my little babies that are going to come back to school? Are they telling them, don't hug Mrs. Litz? Like, be careful because she's a hugger. Yeah, Tara will bring me beverages. Boy, I'll tell you, she brought me a beverage the other day in the most needed time. But anyway, see, I'm so distracted by that now. Jana, I can't wait to see you. I do want a hug. I want a friend hug. Like, I'm tired of this. But okay, so being funny, not trying to be funny, or not, whatever. I'm saying it backwards. But when we do go to school, this is an issue. Like, as an educator in the school, I'm supposed to be mindful and careful and not really hugging. I mean, I'm just going to say it, like, right. I'm taught to not hug the kids. I'm going to put myself out there. I can't help it. And, I'm not a weirdo, but so here's my example. Here's why I'm struggling. I ran into a kid at the beach over the summer. We're all in full know that we're not allowed to hug. Yes. Foot bumps, elbow bumps, all that. Lori, I got it. And I can do this. I know I can. I was being silly, but here's what happened to me. I ran into a kid at the beach who, I don't know if you can hear my dog barking. I'm sorry if you can, but I ran into this kid at the beach, and he and I worked together a lot. Great, super great kid. We saw each other. We hadn't seen each other since March. He just like ran to me and hugged me. I thought nothing of it. I mean, I'm good at the side hug. I do my job like I'm supposed to. And then as I'm hugging him, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not supposed to hug him. It's a pandemic. I don't want his parents to be mad. We're not supposed to share germs. Oh my, all this stuff went over me, right? I did, of course the parents were there, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, no, it's okay. So what my point is with all of this is I'm an adult. I can complain about all these hugging things and all that, but I know better, right? And I know I can control it. But do the kids, how do you tell a sweet child, don't hug me? You know what I mean? If I'm missing the hugs, are they missing the hugs? Am I making this up in my head? You know what I mean?
Pick me. No, you're not.
So that's where
And
my head is.
yeah, and I can tell you, Crystal, you're not. And my experience with that was, I was out at the Second Chance Outreach Center with youth last week, and we were all wearing our masks, and it was a very small number. And we sat in circle, and it was the most beautiful thing. But when I got up to leave, one of the youth said, "I can't let you leave without a hug. I can't let you leave without a hug." Now, we're talking a population of kids that are very alone. I mean, all our kids are alone, but this Second Chance Outreach is a nonprofit that works with kids that are on the street, drugs, parents are incarcerated, or have been incarcerated. Um, Life has been really, really hard for them. For them to be asking for a hug, huge.
Yeah.
And all I did was take a breath. I was masked, student was masked, and I gave him a hug. And I I'm just, and it's those situations right now that I'm not putting myself into every day.
Yeah.
Want to be very respectful of the community, of the pandemic, of myself, and of everyone. But I had to trust that God, universe, Holy Spirit was in that moment. And that was a moment that was divine. That was a moment that could have been life changing. That was
Right.
a moment that was supposed to happen.
So you're,
But yeah, these kids are starving for that physical connection,
and
that
not
touch,
even the hug,
physical touch.
right? Not even the hug. This just the different person at school.
Yeah.
Just the teacher that passes by and sees them, just like we're missing them. I don't know how old Melody is, but she's my new favorite because I don't know who Stephanie is. Do you see that? She says I'm not crazy. How old is
Yes, this is my Stephanie. You have your Stephanie. This is my Stephanie, Crystal.
Okay, but
And
how old is Melody?
oh my gosh, she's having a birthday on this month. She is turning 7,
Okay,
maybe
did,
8.
did you see what she said? She says I'm not
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I
She's
know
my
that
new
because I
friend.
know her mama. And yeah, Tara, right? Mom hugs aren't cutting it anymore. I get that. Yeah, it's not filling the gap. Thank you, Lori. She's 8. Oh, Stephanie said it too. They said it at the same time. She'll be 8. But yeah, it's filled the void temporarily. But here's the thing, Tara, you need hugs too. And you're not getting your form of physical connection that you get from your communities and outside your home. And that's just the energy that we're all embracing right now and bringing into the space. I mean, if nothing else today comes out of tonight, I hope that you're all in these comments.
Okay, look at my London. I need to hug her. I can
I
hug her. She's
know.
like family, right? Does that count? Like we're not in the circle of five, but yeah. So I don't know
Yeah.
how I moved on over to how important hugs are, but I think the picture is way bigger than just the hug. It's the physical, it's the seeing people and being creative to make that happen outside of even Zoom, right? Like
Right.
um the conversation with your friends about how I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I heard an amazing, powerful, life-changing story yesterday, where this gal says to this guy, like, they didn't even like each other, by the way. I just want to put that out there. And she could
Oh,
tell something was up. And she looked at him and she said, "Are you okay?" It changed his whole life. Are you okay? Are you okay? That's 3 words, right? Are you okay? I'm sorry. I'm in the education world and I don't even know 3 words. Okay. So 3 words she said simply, and it truly saved this man's life. The story is way bigger than that. They end up later falling in love because she supported him through some very, very difficult times. And but it just brings it up to me. It's really not just about hugs, it's about reaching out and simply asking, because I'll tell you, for me, my truth is by asking you, Sherra or Tara or Tanya or anyone else on here, if you're okay, um, actually makes me feel really good and helps me
Yeah.
get through it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying do it for somebody else, but I'm saying you find what works for you and helps you be okay, and you do it
Yeah.
at all costs. Not at all costs, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. We know what you mean.
yeah, my thought is genuine, but that story just really hit me, because how simple is that? And by somebody that didn't even like him. So it was good.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I might have needed this tonight, as this conversation, as much as everybody did that's on here with us. I mean, truly, truly, thank you to all of you that were willing to put in there in the
Yeah.
comments, what's hard right now, what you're missing, what you need. Going back to the hugging piece and that physical connection. I shared earlier, we are human beings, not, we're human beings. So what that means is we're not human doings, right? So a hug is a doing, but I want you to think of how you be in that hug, in that moment. That's an expression of something that you connect to emotionally. So yeah, we're human beings. You're not calling, or you're not getting that feeling, that emotional, that energy that comes from that doing. Well, you're missing out.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
what can we do then? What's our other do that we can do to fill that need?
Exactly. And I think that needs to be the biggest takeaway from tonight's conversation is, I love that, Crystal. So if we know that we're missing that energy exchange, if we know that there's something in that hug, in that doing, in that physical connection that we're not gaining, what what can we do in this moment to nurture that? Throw it up in the chat. Let's before we log off and sign out. I knew we would do this in 30 minutes. I can't step away from this. But what are your thoughts on that? What is it? It's not going to replace everything, but it's going to fill your void.
Okay. I have to jump over to Dawn. I
Yeah,
want that. I
thank
do
you.
really want what you're asking to be something
It can
that
go
we
in the box.
answer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it can go in
but
the chat
this
box.
looking at Dawn, and Dawn, I do know
Hi,
that there's
Dawn.
teachers on here. Um, and I
Oh,
think it's very important that you be heard and seen on this. Um, on both sides, right? Like I think what I'm hearing, and as you're reading, Sherra, you can tell me that you're really frustrated with the expectation on these children when they've never done this before. You're right, they haven't. Can I also say, this is in no means, please take it, please hear it genuine from my heart. This is by no means giving an excuse or trying to band-aid this in any way, shape, or form. The teacher also is doing this for the first time, teaching like this. And my true, so this is actually my job, Dawn, where I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of the kids and I'm in the middle of the teacher. And I just really try to blend that, help the relationship if there's issues that come up, if you will. I'm not sure I'm explaining this right, but I do hear frustration from parents about their kids said their kids not doing their part, and the teacher is frustrated because the kids aren't doing their part. And this is a very unhappy place to be, right? I just want to say, I think I'm saying too much because I do overtalk things, but what I really want to say is what I do know from the inside. These teachers are so frustrated with what's happening because they feel um, this horrible feeling of this, by the way, is my truth. This is what I hear. Whether I'm, and teachers, please add your comment to this. If I'm not saying this correctly, call me out right now. But what I'm hearing a lot is these teachers are feeling like they're failing our kids. And imagine that burden, right? These teachers are like, sometimes they can make it or break it for a kid. And right now they're given a platform that they're unsure about. They've never done it before. And it's really hard. And they're feeling like they're failing our kids. If you can't get a kid to turn on their screen, which we're not making kids turn on their screen, right? We don't want kids to feel bad. We don't want kids to feel uncomfortable. All this stuff. We're trying to protect everybody in all the way, shape, or form. Hands are tied all over the place. Every teacher I work with has expressed in some way, shape, or form the joy of the connections that they are able to make, the sadness of the lack of being able to communicate, to make connections. They miss the kids and they feel somehow, like they haven't said it necessarily like I said it, but somehow they're feeling like they're failing.
Yeah.
Your frustration is so valid, Dawn, and so fair. And what I hope that you could do is have a conversation with that teacher, and I hope she can hear you.
Yeah.
Because the teachers don't know. They don't know that that email just read like, I am an asshole. Sorry. Like, right? Like, they don't realize that that's what the parents are getting. That's how they're reading it. And, but if a teacher knew that's how they're reading it, if the teacher knew that's how they're reading it, maybe they would rewrite it a little differently or be able to explain their thoughts. Let's see, Lacey saying, I think feeling and intentions get lost over email. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. I suggest a Zoom call or phone call. Absolutely. And that's a teacher right there. So that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. The teacher deserves to be able to explain their thought, like why that came out like that.
I quickly, Lori, you've been a great advocate for your son, and taking it beyond the email to make sure you're on a level playing field. I also want to share real quickly about Tara. Tara, I'm sorry. I think she stated that she thinks once again, feeling secure would make us all feel so much better. Oh my God. Can I just tell you, like, this is the conversation I'm having in the small groups I run with our youth. So much is out of our control that's what we're focused on, what we can't control. So we have no sense of security or feeling of security. And what I would invite you to do, if you're willing, is that if you would be willing to just take a moment to really think and feel about what you do have control in right now. I did this with the kids and they blow me away every time. The kids, when I ask these questions, and I ask them all to identify one thing in their life that they had control in: attendance, homework, their physical health. I mean, they were just like, I was like, whoa, okay, you got it, you get it. But I think for us too, we need to look at what we have control in right now and then put our energy there. Because when you see yourself succeed in an area, there's a feeling that comes with that. So, Tara, I would even say, and this is just brainstorming. This is not you do you, girlfriend. I just want to share this though, that, like, maybe if you put your energy and focus into just being mom, what does that look like for you? I'm sure Crystal could tell me because I know she adores you. And so, and I know about you because of her. So Tara, I mean, like, what if we found that one place that we could control, that we do have absolute control, and put our energy into that? So that's a thought as well when we're looking at, how do we find that security right now in a world that is so chaotic and uncertain? Just a thought and an invitation.
truly good thought and great invitation. And I do feel like I do need to follow up with what I said. Like, I don't want anyone to hear that, like I'm supporting one over the other or making excuses for any teacher, because I don't know what that teacher's like, right? Your comment, patience goes both ways. You're absolutely right, John. And I would want and invite every single person on here with kids. I think it was Laura said that her kids have IEPs and it's really hard. You are your child's best advocate.
Advocate.
And I can't appreciate parents more when they call, even if they're calling to complain. I just cannot, because what that tells me is that they care and they're fighting for their child. And that is my mission. So I will fight for your child and you if I know that there's something that you're upset about, right? So if you're not calling and you're not complaining and you're not explaining, we don't know.
Yeah.
So don't ever stop being your child's best advocate. I'll be second best for your child because you're the best. And then there's me. But I do know the majority of these teachers just want the best. And when you are responsible for teaching kids and you've got the pressures of what it's supposed to look like, and you have a pandemic that's telling you what it's going to look like, there's no real happy medium, right? I know my teachers, they're not mine, but the teachers I work with, they love our children. So keep fighting for your babies and find whoever is at your school that will listen if you are not getting it.
Yeah.
Somebody will listen.
Yep. And another thing, and Lori, you might have been the one that had shared this on our happy hour that you're part of, is if you are someone, like I'm thinking about Laura in particular, and Laura, this is just when you brought up IEP is something that made me think about this. There are advocates that you can have working with you, like to help use your voice to get your kids what they need, the support they need if you're feeling really lost or stuck in the system. I believe, and Lori, I think you were the one. No, I think it was somebody else. Shoot.
Laura said she is working with them. So Laura does know she has some people, but what her last sentence is I think a lot of us can relate to. Even with the support, it's so overwhelming sometimes.
Okay, I didn't know if few goodies was sarcastic or not.
Oh, I didn't take it that way.
I'm working with a few goodies. Laura, see, here's where we get lost in translation. Crystal and I both have read this different.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Email and text, read it different.
Yeah. And Tanya, yay. Okay, so Tanya knows what I'm talking about when I talk about an advocate. Okay, great people. Shoot. This is what you're going to get working with me and Crystal. Like, hey, I'm not sure I know how to read that. But I don't, Crystal and I, our intention is to come to you the first Monday of every month. But what I want you to know is we'll be talking this week, and watch Crystal's page or the Sherra Grasser Youth Empowerment page, because we may need to come in a little more than once a month. I'm feeling that these conversations are of value. I'm feeling like we have a community that needs to be served and needs to be seen by Crystal and I, even if it's through this platform. I mean, this was the pull and where our hearts were. And so make sure that you are staying, connected somehow to our pages or setting up so that Tanya weekly.
Would you really want to hear us weekly, people? Come on.
I know. And the other thing is too, is we do want to bring in some guests. There's so many concerns and there's so many things up in the world that our kids are being exposed to, if not with conversations in your home. Oh, I love you, Rachel, already.
She's mine. I just want you to know she's mine.
Okay, we'll share. But conversations if you're not having conversations in your home, a lot of times your kids are hearing them through social media platforms they're on. So I really, really want to bring some of these conversations to all of you because I'm telling you, I hear it all, and I'm really honored that those kids that I work with are trusting me and are open to sharing. And the space that Crystal and I are creating through Beyond the Classroom is exactly that space we want to create for you. We want it to be a safe space. Now, yeah, I know it's on social media, but you're welcome to reach out to us in whatever through private message if you have something you want to share that you didn't feel comfortable sharing here. But I really want it to be safe. I want you to feel comfortable if you choose to be vulnerable. I want you to know that you are not judged by Crystal or I. Like, there's no judging between the two of us. We want to just see you for who you are in this absolute moment, knowing that it could change in that next moment, and that we honor you and see you as complete and whole as you are and as you show up. And I want you to know that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. If you hear anything in today, please hear that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are complete and whole.
I'm, I, I, so that is beautiful. And everything you just said was very, a lot. Was a lot. Like, one of these days I'm going to be crying on this darn thing. But I want to know what Laura means by I feel somewhat shared. So if that's something that you don't want to put in the comments, that's okay. And you and I will talk later. But I'm just curious. Yeah, see, Lori, I had a hard time talking. That's exactly how I felt. I was trying not to cry. All my friends on here, by the way, they know I'm a crier. I see Sally said she'll join us. That's my crying buddy. We just look at each other and we cry. I don't know why. Oh, she feels shared by both of us. Okay, so I guess I can't claim you. Is that what you're saying, Laura? I'll try not to claim my friends. I'm a little selfish in that area, but
she is. Holy moly, macaroni.
You were my friend first. I can say that. No, that's a long-standing joke about me. I do share my friends, but my friends don't think I do. Rachel, it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
It is okay to cry. I cry all the time, by the way.
I do too.
And I am super glad you jumped on. Sherra could not have said it better. Left me kind of speechless. I do claim you, Angie. I'm so distracted now. Can we just stand forever? Because I just love these people.
I know.
I love them.
I know.
Okay. No. I need to respect your time. This time was so intentional. And it was so I want to share with you guys, and the couple of you that talked to me know this because you were asking questions and I really didn't know what it was going to be. Like, Sherra and I did not know what we were going to say. I didn't even know how to introduce myself. This is really just raw from our heart. We felt tugged. There's been a lot of things happening in our communities that I just couldn't handle by myself. I couldn't handle by myself. So that's where this grew for me. Rachel, she was mine. You're distracting me. But we share a really great person, Rachel. Okay, we need to talk later. So anyways, yeah, this was supposed to happen. This was meant to happen. You did not come here by accident. You did not have 48 minutes of free time just because. As much as we appreciate you for coming and validating really that we are on the right track and we're going to grow and learn all together, as much as you've done that for us, it also is for you. If you did not walk away today with something, that's okay. It's okay. It'll happen, right? Something will happen. I know that we're going to be tidying it up, and there's a lot of mental health going on all around right now, Laura, and that is one of the topics we definitely want to have. and we want to shed light on it, and we're not experts in it by any means, but it's a biggie. And but anyways, I know that we're going to be wrapping it up, and I just don't want to go without being said how important every single one of you are for being here today. Whether you commented or not, you are lifting somebody up. We lift each other up in numbers.
Yep.
And what do we keep hearing from Jody? Dr. Jody Carrington. I just want to put that out there.
Oh yeah.
If
We're
you
all just, it's a oh, now I'm gonna forget his.
we're all in this together.
We're all just walking each other home.
For sure. And I just want to thank every single one of you for sitting at my table with me today, because this was just as much for me as I hoped it would be for you. So, oh, I'm glad we made you smile.
So in close, do you feel, Crystal, we're in a place to come to a close?
Yeah, I do. I could talk forever, but yeah, I mean, I think that if we expect anybody to listen to us again, we probably
better
should
respect their night.
Yeah.
So I would love in closing, I'm a big believer in circle. And when you're sitting in circle, doesn't matter where you're sitting, you can see everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would be willing to, I can't tell if you're closing your eyes or not, but if you want to just imagine that the 27 of us that are online right now are sitting in a circle together. Imagine sitting with 26 other souls who just held this conversation. And you have this huge awareness that you're not alone, that we're all moving through this thing we call life. But we're actually doing it together, but we feel so alone. You have 26 souls that are willing to walk this with you. There's more. And by using our voice and asking what we need from those that are closest to us, or even just offering are you okay? What a change in your journey that could bring. And not just for you, but the person that you're in conversation with. Thank you guys for showing up. It's better than what I thought it could be.
Oh my gosh, okay, Angie, I'm gonna hug you. Angie is a hugger. I'm hugging you. Did you just see what she wrote? She came just to support me. Because I'm her big cheerleader. I am. So she is so awesome. She's in our school district, and the fighting she does for our babies is like no other.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you too. We love you too. If you feel that what was shared tonight is something that somebody you're connected to would gain from, please feel free to share this. Right now, we're going to absolutely be on for sure every Monday, the first Monday of the month, but we are looking at the possibility of bringing in, hey, and making something happen. So thank you for encouraging us. Thank you for loving us. And know that we see each and every one of you, and I'm in gratitude. Thank you, Crystal.
Me too. Thank you.
Crystal had to light my fire to make this happen. Let me tell you, she was my
pushing. And now the next thing is, friends, are you listening? Here's an announcement. Sherra doesn't know. Are you ready? She's working on something for 3rd grade. She doesn't know it yet.
Tara, this is your fault. No, I'm just kidding. I should say fault. I should say, Tara, you've been a big push towards this. So I'm excited. All right. Thanks, you guys. We're signing out. Peace and love to all of you. Remember, you are perfect. You are whole.
Yeah. See
Thank
ya.
you.